Hello everybody, welcome to an extra special episode. Now this is a bumper episode where I think you need to grab a drink, grab a snack, and I am going to take you through all the things I've learned from taking part in Mim May for many years and also sharing on YouTube for the last 2 years. So you're going to see clips back from me in the past. And this is all about Me Made May. Now you might think, I don't know what Me Made May is, but don't worry, as long as I keep my teeth in, you will find out what it is. But if you do know what it is and you're thinking, I think I know what I want to do I want to take part, I'm not sure, that will help you too. But whether you do Me Made May or not, there is so much to gain from the actual vision behind it. Me Made May is not like any other challenge. It's not really a challenge. Now in the sewing community there's a lot of challenges these days where we're sewing a blouse or sewing something with fruity fabric. This is much more about improving your relationship with your handmade sewn items, but also your wardrobe. So this is not about having to wear Me Made every day. This is not about sharing pictures every day, and it's not about doing the same thing as everyone else. So my Me Made May pledge is to sew things in fabrics that help me with my spring mood, that fill gaps in my wardrobe. And for May, that might be not a lot of sewing, it might be a lot of outfit combining to find the gaps, and it might be looking at what I need to make and looking at the fabrics I've got so that I actually sew the things for this season. So whether you are just looking to improve how you wear what's in your wardrobe, whether you want some inspiration for taking part in this year's Me Made May, or you just want to continue on your sewing journey, then there is definitely something for you in this episode. Now, I found that when I first started taking part in Me Made May, I didn't feel I had enough of my own handmade clothes to wear them every day for the month of May. And to begin with, I thought that meant I was excluded from the challenge because I saw everybody posting saying I'm going to wear Me Made items every day, and I was thinking, well, I can't. But then I read more deeply into what the challenge was about and realised that it's not about wearing handmade every day. It's about making sure that what is in our wardrobe really gets worn, that we are being really conscious about sewing things, buying things that work for us, and asking ourselves, why do we reach to the same thing? And why are those lovely items over there not getting worn? So I'm going to take you on a deep dive through the different things I've learned, including how I have sorted and organised my wardrobe in terms of what I actually need rather than it being neat and tidy, but also how I have improved the kinds of things I sew to have better success at being able to wear what I sew, how I have actually used what I've learned from these experiences to plan all of my sewing throughout the year, and also to prevent something called wardrobe orphans, which we'll go into a bit more. So there is lots to get through in today's episode, and as I say, you're going to see clips of me from the past sharing things with you. Now, I love my Me Made wardrobe, but I love my whole wardrobe, and it doesn't mean that I shouldn't wear all of my wardrobe, because just because it was bought doesn't mean it doesn't deserve to be worn. The whole point is what is in my wardrobe should fill its destiny, which is to be worn and loved. Now, if you don't know, I am Sam of Sequin Girly Create, and this is my channel. I am going to kick off, I think, on today's episode. Glasses are going to be on and off, everybody, because there is a lot to get through. So I think we'll kick off with thinking about assessing our wardrobe. So I'm going to hand over, I'm not going to keep saying it, but you're going to see me change an outfit because that's clips from the past put together. So let's start with my thoughts. I've been thinking a lot about the wardrobe I want to create and wearing a wardrobe that reflects me and that I feel comfortable in, and not what the shops tell me I should wear. So chapter 7 is called hanger management. Now I won't say hanger because it's the same word, and actually she addresses the fact that it's not the feeling when you're hungry, but managing hangers. And I know probably some of you like myself have seen this thing where you hang all the hangers, their heads one way, and when you wear it you turn it the other way. That's never worked for me because I've never not known what I have or haven't worn, and sometimes when I'm planning my outfit in the evening, I'm picking an outfit that hasn't had a turn before the season is over. So I'm quite aware of sort of what has and hasn't been worn. So one of the things she asks in this chapter is about sorting your clothes by the type of category. So workwear, activewear, loungewear, formal wear, going out, swimwear and beachwear, outerwear and accessories. And I was talking with someone, she was talking about the fact that since she's retired, her outfit is needs are very different, and she's still got in her wardrobe sort of all her work clothes, and they're taking up a lot of wardrobe space. And I was saying I've been through that, and I was hanging on to all the things from when I was a head teacher, when I was front facing every day, and so my wardrobe wasn't working in the percentage of what I needed for me. So if I'm working from home 60-70% of the week, then my wardrobe needs to contain 60-70% work from home outfits, and if I go into the office 20% of my week, then I need 20% going out in the world outfits. And so I realised that my wardrobe wasn't containing the right percentage, and so I broke my what I need down into weekend wear, work/smart, going out, being at home, and casual out. So I would say one of the biggest things I've learned is that I really need to think, what are the gaps in my wardrobe? And over the years of doing Mim May and thinking a lot about why haven't I worn this, it's often realising I don't know what to pair it with, or I don't have something in my wardrobe that it will go with, or that I feel comfortable in. So even if I think I've got something that it would pair with, if I don't want to wear that, then that other lovely item just languishes, and as I said, ends up becoming a wardrobe orphan. The other reason that can happen is if you are sewing lots of lovely things with lots of lovely fabric but not thinking about how they work together. So we're going to come back to that bit in a little bit more detail in another section, but let's cut to me now having a look at how I identified the gaps in my wardrobe and thought about what I really needed to wear versus what I was sewing and I wasn't wearing it because it wasn't right for the life that I had. So what I did was then went to my wardrobe and had a look to see if actually the percentage of what I need is what I really have. So that's the truth of the pudding here. It did involve that unpleasant experience of having to get out of my wardrobe all of the things that I really didn't want to have to get out. So into my wardrobe I went, and I got all of my trousers out and resorted them. I got out all of my tops, jumpers. I sorted all of the dresses in the wardrobe because I took all the skirts and the tops out and reordered them. It was a project. The rail was out. So what I did was I even took like my blouses and I went, which of these would I wear for work and which of these would I wear for casual? So I took it to that extreme. And the reason I took it to that extreme is because I really felt that otherwise, as the lovely Laura calls them, I would have space hogs in my wardrobe. And so I realised that actually I've got 3/5 smart flat blouses versus 2/5 casual and only 1 for at home. Dresses. 3/4 of my dresses were smart wear and 1/4 were casual, and 0 would I categorise as just wearing at home. Now if we think about the fact that and I'll put the stats back up, I said that wear at home was a huge percentage of my wearing week, then that's no good, because already more of my wardrobe is smart than anything else. So I need only 14% at the most of my wardrobe to be smart. Now I could indulge myself a bit and go to 20%, which is a fifth, but already my skirts and blouses are at 3/5. That's 3 times the amount I need of those. Dresses, 3/4 as opposed to 1/5. Trousers was a 50-50 split between casual and smart. But then I had a third group, which I called relaxers. Now, if you know, you know. So actually, if you look at my lower half trouser jogger wear, I am on a third split. So third smart, third casual, third at home. Well, that needs to adjust more, because it should be more at home, more casual and less smart. So why do that? Why get out, hang everything out? Because what I have immediately realised is how much of my wardrobe storage is being for things that I don't wear as often. And actually, what I wear the most, which is the at home and casual wear, is all crammed in one tiny space. So already I've started to rearrange, because they need to be easy accessible, nicely stored, because I'm going to reach for them more than anything else. And they've been jammed into the bottom because they don't need folding in the same way. And that jamming in means I can't enjoy picking from them, hence why I end up in my dressing gown and my pyjamas and the same thing over and over again. Obviously then there's the what fits. I'm very much of the, if it doesn't fit me, it's coming out because it's taking up space. So something for Mim May to think about is, do your Mim Maids fit you, and if they don't, are you going to put them away for now or rework them, because it's pointless. One of the other great things about Mim May is that it can help you to really think about your personal style. And this year I have seen some fantastic pledges for Mim May, where actually people are being really quite playful with their wardrobe. That is a great way to establish the types of styles that you actually like or want to wear. One of the great quotes I saw in the last couple of years was, we're led to believe that we think we have to pick a style. So whether that is like smart casual or rock or neutrals, or what's this called, like quiet luxury or mob era. And actually you don't need to pick one style. You can have different styles on different days depending on what mood you are in and what you're feeling like and what you want to feel like. And so Mim May is a great opportunity to try things out. So there's lots of different ways that you can give yourself personal style challenges to help refine that. So I'm just going to show you here some of the things that I've done to help myself with that. I am a woman of a certain age who wants to still feel good, still feel visible and feel happy with myself. And part of that is every piece of clothing I put on, I want to feel good. I could easily just keep buying new fabric and making new all the time. But I am coming to terms with the fact that that is no different from shop. So I'm really trying to create a balance in my life of what have I got that I could still wear that I love, and why don't I wear it? What needs to go to a new home? What can I tailor because it will suit me better? And what then can I sew and make to fill the gaps? Because for some of my clothes, I want to wear them, but I'm struggling to know what to put with them. Words, the 5 words that you want your wardrobe to say for you. And as Sarah says in her information about this, you might have different words for different things. So I've started with my overriding words, and then another time I'm going to do my work words, and another time I'm going to do my at-home words. So the list is fantastic, and it's got all sorts of words on here, from cheerful, optimistic, blessed, reassured, curious, eager. great selection of adjectives, and I would like to share with you the 5 that I chose for me. And this is not what my wardrobe is, this is what I want it to be. So I want it to be joyous, which if you're an existing viewer will know I've been working on that a lot. Unique, and this came about from doing the wardrobe interview and thinking, what is it I want from what I sew? Professional, because there are many times in my life where I want people to feel sort of that they can trust me or feel reassured in me, or that I'm able to speak with knowledge and authority. Creative, I want my wardrobe to be a key part of my creative expression. I've always had creative outputs in my life. My wardrobe is an extension of my creative outlet. And my last one is courageous. And I thought a lot about this. There was a lot of words I could choose, but actually I've realised that what I want to do as part of my wardrobe is empower others, and the word courageous helped me the most to feel that that's what I was able to do with it. I'd love to know what your 5 words are. So once I did those words, I went back to this book where she encourages you to actually think about the core colours that you want to have. So I am not a neutrals. If you've seen my Instagram page, which is Sequin Girly, you will know I am not a neutrals. And I can understand why some people are neutrals. Jerry Halliwell, from what I read, Ginger Spice, only wears white. I get it, because everything in her wardrobe matches. But for me, that's not where I'm at. That's not who I am. And I love colour and I love to express myself. The clothes I wear are part of my creative expression, hence my channel Sequin Girly Creates. And so I want a wardrobe that is me. But also for me, my style has evolved over time, but also in terms of my level of creativity that I want to express, the use of colour in my wardrobe that I want to have. We're not static, and I really use clothes as a form of self-expression, and I'm pretty comfortable with that. But I know a lot of people sort of ask me about things like, I want to wear more colour, how do I get more colour? So that is a great part of Mim May, is giving yourself that opportunity to wear those pair of red trousers 3 days in the week and try out different tops with them, or wear that skirt that you keep looking at and trying but just not sure if it's you. Well, Mim May gives you that opportunity to give that a try. Which colours dominate your wardrobe? This is a really interesting phrase. Wardrobe ethnography doesn't just focus on the individual items in your wardrobe, it considers the relationship between your clothes. If your wardrobe doesn't remotely subscribe to a specific colour palette, it might be difficult for you to create cohesive outfits. To sort of refine your wardrobe by the colours, and to almost sort your wardrobe by the colours that are in it, to have a look. And she's talking about all this sort of Venn diagrams of sorting, because she goes on to get you to sort by clothes that fit with who you feel you are now, clothes that sort of fit with who you want to be or you're becoming, and clothes that don't fit with your identity. Really sort of leapt out at me was this sort of, she was saying about only having like 4 colours in your 4 main colours, core colours in your wardrobe. Now, I'm not suggesting I only have 4, but I have had the opposite of what some people have, which is almost like too much colour and pattern that they don't work together. And that's why I've been doing a lot of plain, bold sewing to have those unifying, like this green jumper, those unifying items. I was thinking about why, with the amount of colour in my wardrobe, why were the colours that I picked the other day to wear not working for me in terms of not wanting to wear it? And I suddenly realised that they didn't fit with the type of clothes I wanted to wear for how I feel in this season. Now, when I made my autumn winter plans, it was super clear that the colours that I were going for were the jewel tones. So like the deep reds, the sort of emeraldy greens, the purples, the mustards. And I really enjoyed my autumn winter wardrobe. I really enjoyed those colours all together. What I realised is that whilst I still need warm clothes right now, I don't want the jewel tones. I want spring colours. And that's when my sort of ping moment went, that Even though I love colour, even though my wardrobe is colourful, it wasn't the right colours for how I felt about spring. I don't want to follow any particular rules or anything. I just want to do what works for me. But what I did think is actually I am at risk right now of having too many colours. Actually, I realised when I think of green, do I mean aqua or teal or emerald or mint? Because actually that could be 5 colours on their own. So I've really tried to think about actually making it easier to pair my wardrobe together. It means I need to my color groups and think about what colors I want, and that's going to be definitely seasonal. So right now I'm picking the colors I want for spring and summer. So I've gone for a couple of sort of neutrals, main colors, and then accent colors. So I also used Pinterest to look for my ideas. So I put together my core colours, my accent colours, and also just a mood board of what feels like, what I want it to feel like. They're not specific outfits, it's just the feel. So it's popping up on the screen now, and you can see the core colours I went for were pink, green as in sort of proper emeraldy grass type strong green, purple, white as my neutral, and what I didn't put on there as well is leopard as my other neutral, and then blue and yellow as my accent colours, with allowing blue to kind of go more into the main colour when I want. And they're kind of where I might have a little bit of red accent in there, but just creating that palette like that and creating that sort of little mood board really conveys how I kind of want my wardrobe to feel, and all those pictures together just create that feel. I'm not setting out to make any of those items specifically, but it is that nice combination of pattern and colour and detail that gives you a sense of the feel of the vibe that I want. I'd really encourage you, even if you don't make it into a mood board or anything like that, just start having a look and a think, what vibe do I want? Not what you are now, but what vibe do you want? Because this could be a way to help you then plan your sewing to move into that vibe, and plan your shopping as well. And how do you think I'm doing? Am I doing okay with the fabrics I had, but the palette I wanted to? I'm thinking yes, but I think there's not enough plains yet to play off against the patterns, and that's where the trousers are going to come in. But taking a bit of work, and I don't mind a bit of work, but it's the trousers that are going to fix that bit. Now, if you are a member of my Sequin Girly channel, you do get extras that include some of the things I've been talking about around colour palettes, and also other things that have helped me with this journey. If you're thinking, I'm not sure whether I'd like to do this, do I want to do this? There is a join button, you can click on it, nothing happens, you can just find out more. All membership levels do have access to those resources that I am mentioning. One of the key things when we're thinking about defining personal style can also be around colour palette, and as I mentioned before, when we're assessing and analysing our wardrobe, how we create cohesion within that. Now, this is not getting your colours done I'm talking about how does your wardrobe work together. So one of the things that I've done over the years is actually analyse how my colours in my wardrobe work with each other, and what are the dominant colours that I have. But then I also have thought about how the colours make me feel and how they fit with how I want to feel in the different seasons. And this is something I really explored in Mim May 2024, when I realised that I didn't want to wear what was in my wardrobe. There was nothing wrong with it. It wasn't that it didn't fit. It wasn't that I didn't like it. But why didn't I want to wear it? What I think is the answer is making sure I select things to sew that fit with the season that I'm feeling, rather than just because it's lovely. And so this step on from it feels like me, but does it feel like me for this season? So it's even more refining the choosing of what I buy, down to what was a huge big like it, I love all these lovely things, down to I love these things but do they feel like me, now down to I love these things, do they feel like me, and do they fit with how I want to feel in this season. So it's refining and refining and refining down. I've done a radical thing. I have taken out of my wardrobe everything that's not in the spring colour palette I want. This is literally, I've gone, right, I'm taking out all the autumn winter colours, or all the things that my brain associates with being autumn. I need to free up space in my wardrobe that all I've got left in there are the colours that fit with the mood I want to feel in right now. And then I'm going to disappear up in the loft, and I'm going to look at some of my summer items that could be worn now, bring some bits in, and then I'm going to work out the gaps. But then through the use of Mim May, I have also worked out from all those other things that I've just talked about, from my wardrobe assessment and analysis to my personal style to my colour, is how do I become a considered sewist? And that includes things like, how do I, when confronted with a gorgeous shop of fabric, work out what to buy? How do I stop the distraction of just buying lovely fabric because it's lovely, and actually work out which fabrics to buy that will work with the wardrobe that I have, or the seasonal collection that I have? And I'm not going to use the word capsule because my wardrobe is definitely not a capsule wardrobe. But I have taken a lot of time to think about, how do I become more considered in my purchasing and my sewing? Coming around to my spring planning again, that's probably why I'm feeling a bit ahead of the game this year. I've set my palette, so I'm just going to put that here while I'm talking. My palette is very similar to last spring's palette, but with a smidge of a change. And the reason for that is it's really important to me that the clothes I've sewn, made, owned from previous years can come back in, but also that I keep feeling like myself. So I can't stick to the exact same palette if that palette doesn't feel like me anymore. So I've made tweaks. I will, not today, but another day, go through my spring/summer wardrobe. It's all sort of mixed into one. Start pulling out the pieces I want, asking myself questions about whether I want them anymore or whether they're just not for now. The palette is there, and that is one of the ways I work out when I go sort of through my stash, is if I'm not going to wear it because it's a spring or a summery type fabric, but it just, the colours don't for me feel that way, I might then use it as a toile or fabric or something, or destash it, give it away. It's a trap I've fallen into before, where I like a fabric but the weight of it is either more wintry, summery, and it doesn't fit the colours I feel for that season. So when I'm choosing fabric, I need to feel about the print, the colour and the weight of it for it to work for the right season. And that nearly happened. Let me show you this one. So I've owned this a while now, this lovely denim, and I went to put it into my winter plans and I realised it was not a winter palette colour for me. So I put it back and knew it would come out now for the spring, because we're still going to have chilly days. So in amongst all of this, I'm also very mindful about wanting to be mindful in my sewing practice and sustainable. So one of the reflections that I have had during Mim May and happened many years prior to that was moving away from fast fashion, and also thinking about thrifting and repurposing. So as you know from my other videos, I've got endless sewing projects and ideas, but I really want to focus this month, however much it can feel a bit like, is fixing the gaps with the sewing, rather than just, I love sewing for pleasure. It is a hobby, it is a joy, so I do want to keep doing it for that reason, but I also want to sew to fill the gaps, so I wear the items that I have with the things that I sew. It's a journey, but one of the biggest challenges I find is making sure I've got something to wear with a piece that I love. And that's what I want to do for Mim May with my sewing. So I'm not there yet. I just keep wanting to sew new and exciting things. And that is part of my pledge, is to not keep doing that, but to actually make sure the clothes I've got that I love, I wear. But also that I don't just keep sewing because I fall in love with fabrics or fall in love with ideas. There is an element of that, and I will always do that because it's my hobby and it's my joy. But I also don't want to fall into that fast fashion trap in a different way. And I now don't want to fall into that by just buying lots of fabric or just holding on to things that I don't wear for lots of different reasons. There is a huge pile over there of vintage clothes that need a new home because for whatever reason I don't wear them. So this was the first one. Bold plains is what I need. So this is however much I want the pattern. This is something I must keep looking at. Let me show you some of the things that I am going to adjust. So the first one is this second-hand, new to me, Sainsbury's striped dress. It's like a button-down classic. It could have been made by me if you think about some of the other things I've seen. It's almost like the collarless patina blouse with a skirt. It's not the right length on me, but I love it and I love the feel of the fabric. Well, thank goodness for Becky Lane on Instagram, because she had a peach skin striped fabric. How could I not? If you've seen my channel or my Instagram, how could I not want this? And this works perfectly with this. So I might create a frill, I might create an extra layer, I don't know, but so now we get to really thinking about this year's Mim May. I have made different pledges over the years, but what do I want to do this year, and how do I take all of these things? And so if you can hear the rustling, I'm looking for a specific piece of paper to share with you. How do I take all of these things, all of these ideas, all of these learning, and put it together for this year? So what I definitely want to do is still continue to look for the gaps, because looking for the gaps and sewing for the gaps really helps me with being sure that things will work in my wardrobe. The rustling has stopped now, you'll be pleased to know. So I will be continuing to look for the gaps. I have already done one wardrobe move around, so my winter wardrobe has gone, spring part one has come in, and sometimes I don't bring it all in one go. I bring a part of it in and wear that, and then I can work out those things without feeling overwhelmed. So I do need to assess, have I got the trousers that go with the tops? Are things working within the palette before I plough on with any more sewing? But also, as I say, Mim May is a great chance to be quite playful. And so I'm going to share with you now some ideas that I might do. And you know what? If I don't make them at the beginning, pledge at the beginning of May, I can do them anyway. Might make just a very generalised pledge. So here's some suggestions for you. One of those could be a colour play. So you could create a colour palette, and you could do for each week or for the whole month. So you might say, this week I'm going to wear greens, yellows and blues. Next week I'm going to wear reds and oranges. And it doesn't mean that the whole week you have to do it. It might be you do it till you've used those items and seen how it works. Because let's remember, this is about finding different ways of wearing our wardrobe, finding the gaps, finding the things that are forgotten that we might love. It might be you pull out all of the items that you haven't worn for a while, and you could do yourself a wear it more challenge and say, every week I'm going to wear 2 items that haven't had a chance to be worn yet. Now, I'm a funny one. I do that before I put my wardrobe away for the season. So when I know it's coming close to when, like for example, my winter wardrobe will go away, I look at my wardrobe and I say, who's not had a turn for a while? And I will give things an opportunity to be worn before they get put away. It helps me to decide, should they get put away or should they move on to a life somewhere else? And then you could also think, and someone has challenged me to do this, you could do accessorize it. Now, I have a wonderful selection of necklaces that I have found over the years in charity shops or had as gifts. And maybe I base my outfits around my necklace so that I choose things that coordinate. And maybe I choose some of my necklaces that haven't had a turn for a while. doesn't have to be necklaces, it could be earrings, bracelets. If it's something you want to get more of in the wardrobe, the way you wear it, you could start with what you've got and then work out what you might want to look out for in charity shops, etc., to fill those gaps. Now, if you want some more Mim Made ideas, I am going to put some in the resources for my members as well. Well, if you have enjoyed finding out ways to make the most of your handmade wardrobe, I would love it if you gave me a challenge below. I love a challenge from my viewers out there. You might like the idea of me taking the accessories and styling my clothes from that, or you might want to challenge me to wear a certain colour a week. Leave me a comment below suggesting what challenge you would like me to do. I might do one a week, and probably at the end of May I'll put it together in a compilation video and you can watch out to see if your challenge was in there. My goodness, this Mim May has really made me start to think. And if you would like me to do a live at the end of the month sharing some of my favourite outfits from Mim May, or things that I've made to add in, or responses to your challenges, do let me know below, because last month I did a live at the end of the month all about my blouses and I really enjoyed the interaction with everybody. So let me know, should I do it again? So I thought for this bit, we'd just have a little review back of some of the items that I have made that have really benefited the rest of my wardrobe, that have come from my Mim May ponderings, and just really found that actually they've made such a huge difference to my wardrobe. And one of those was when in 2023 I felt quite inspired by the wonderful What Beck Sews to think about bold plains. So here we go with one of my favourite bold plains, which is this lovely sort of linen cotton mix, just plain pink Tammy handmade Naya. It goes with so many of my bottom halves that I wear during the spring and summer, and I can put lots of different kind of necklaces over it, and to the point where I've made a white one now in double gauze, and I've got a lilac one cut out, and they just bring so much else of my wardrobe together. And the other thing that's come from thinking about bold plains and gaps in my wardrobe is summer trousers. I was one of those people that spent my time avoiding buying trousers in the shop because they never fit me properly. Well, once I learned how to get a good fit on a pair of trousers, there was nothing stopping me. I have made a lot of different pairs of both the Sew Liberated Chanterelle and the Closet Core Sepia, and a couple of different varieties of wide leg trouser, and now I have a good selection of both plain and pattern summer trousers, which means I can mix them out. They work casually, they work nice if you put on a bit of jewellery to go out to the pub or the evening. I can wear them to work with like a light summery jacket. They have just become a tried and true wardrobe essential, to the point now where I'm not sure what I wore before I had them. Do you ever have that where you think, what did I used to wear? Because I don't know what I did before I had these in my wardrobe. So what are you going to do? Do you think you might take part in Mim May? Is it that time to actually do a little bit of a wardrobe audit? Leave your comments below and let me know what you're thinking about. And remember, you don't have to do it in May. May is just a chance where we're raising conversations about it. You might not do it till June, July, whenever suits you. I generally don't do like one massive wardrobe haul in one go now. I do it all in bite-sized chunks. I find it a lot less overwhelming, and I don't get that sense of, oh my goodness, I'm halfway through and I feel very stressed that I don't know how this is going to end. So what I will do is just like swap out the trousers or swap out the t-shirts and just put it into those little bite-sized chunks that makes it feel more manageable in life. And also that means you don't need the whole day put aside to do it, which I know is a hard thing to find. But if you just say, I'm just going to spend 20 minutes sorting through and getting jumpers out that I'm going to donate, put in the loft, put under the bed, put to the back of the drawer, just work out which ones need a bit of debobbling, that sort of thing. So if you've enjoyed this episode, I am linking over here a playlist of all my Me Made series that I do, where I show how I style my Me Made. And if you're looking for inspiration, I think you might enjoy that. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you again soon. Bye!